Welcome, everybody. I'm Michelina DeCivio. I'm a certified holistic health coach. I live in Sandy Hook, Connecticut with my husband of 30 years. We have two children. They're 25 and 22. And I'm also honored to be an affiliate with the Juice Plus Company. In case you're not familiar with the Juice Plus Company, we're a functional food and lifestyle company, and we've been inspiring healthy living around the world for the last 50 years, really over 50 years now. So I'm very excited tonight for you to hear from our speakers. As you know, tonight's theme is all about men's health. So they are going to share their wisdom about men's health and how to best take care of yourselves. So I know you're going to come away this evening with some really good pointers. So we're going to start with Travis Sample. Travis is going to talk to us about mindset and how mindset affects your testosterone levels and what to do about it. Then we'll move to Evan, who's going to cover some do's and don'ts of men's fitness, talking about optimizing health and performance, strategies for achieving your fitness longevity and understanding pain. And then Rose Emily is going to wrap us up with fueling properly. How do we best fuel for optimal health and performance? So we're going to start with Travis. I'll quickly introduce Travis. Travis is an amazing man. I had the pleasure of meeting him in person about a month ago now, and you'll see why we all love him. He is a motivational speaker. He's a professional boxing trainer. He is a victory coach. He is works at the YMCA of Ridgewood, New Jersey. He's a master fitness specialist there. He's the CEO of Sample Fitness, and he is very happy, humbled, and honored to be a part of our community, and we're honored to have him. So without further ado, Travis, I'd like to turn it over to you, because we know that success in virtually anything in life, right, starts with having the proper mindset. So please take it away. I know you're a master in this area.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I'm all about simplicity, okay? Remember these three things for the men, for the women, for everybody, but especially the men. Stay positive, keep moving forward, and never get frustrated. I'll say it one more time. Stay positive, keep moving forward, and never get frustrated. Make it even more simple. If you're more positive, if you move with the spirit of positivity, if you move with energy, if you move with victory, if you speak with conviction, your testosterone will skyrocket and soar through the roof. On the contrary, if you're negative, if you're lethargic, if you don't take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, your testosterone will be on a rapid decline. That is fact. I'm going to paint you a picture. Imagine you are a king of your kingdom, and your kingdom, metaphorically, is your mindset. It is imperative that you protect your kingdom, that you protect your mindset. If in the distance of your kingdom, you see these enemies and they have pitchforks and torches and swords, and they're marching towards your kingdom, they are symbolic for negativity. And your gate was open, the gate to your mind, the gate to your peace, the gate to your maximum levels of testosterone. Would you leave the gate open and let them march right in and have the way with your kingdom? Or would you close the gate and protect your kingdom and protect the peace and tell your guards and your knights to take care of that? Okay? You need to protect your mind. Stay positive, keep moving forward, and never, ever get frustrated. It might sound redundant, but it is imperative. So follow me here. I'm going to say one quote. I'm going to say it twice. Tell me one positive thing about being negative, and tell me one negative thing about being positive. I'll say it again. Tell me one positive thing about being negative, and tell me one negative thing about being positive. Well, guess what? You can't. You simply cannot. Your mindset is everything. When your mindset is positive, when your mindset is strong, that gives you peace and liberation. Where there's liberation, there's freedom. Where there's freedom, there's spiritual and emotional circulation. Where there's spiritual and emotional circulation, automatically there will be physical, full body circulation. All right. When your mindset's positive, when your mindset is strong, when you move with victory, when you speak with conviction, there will be no room for negativity, and there will be no room for your testosterone to be on the decline. It is amazing the power of our mind and what our minds can do. We are the thoughts we keep. So I encourage all the men listening to fight for your peace and fight for your positivity, because everything begins in the mind. And with that said, I encourage you to protect your eyes. What do I mean by protect your eyes? Okay? Do not watch things that are perverse. I'll say it again. I will address the elephant in the room. I'll keep it real. Men, do not watch porn. That will destroy your testosterone. Keep it real. Keep it very simple. Protect your ears, right? Listen to positive music. Listen to things that are encouraging. Listen to motivational and keynote speakers. And lastly, surround yourself with positive, like-minded people. If you want to go far, go together. Okay, again, you are the thoughts you keep, and you need to be consistent. Okay, remember, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So for all the men out there watching this, I encourage you to challenge yourself to break comfort zones and get up every morning at 4:30 or 5 a.m. and begin doing 50 push-ups. Do that daily, right? Do that daily. As you do that, as you do those 50 push-ups, your mindset will change. As your mindset changes, your emotions will elevate. As your emotions elevate, your spirit will grow. I encourage you to do things constructive and do not do things that are destructive. I'll say it again. Do things that are constructive. Do things that are positive for you, right? Eat healthy. Do the right things, right? Consume the right things. And when I say consumption, don't just eat the right things. Again, you are the thoughts you keep. And again, it might sound redundant, but it is imperative that you keep your mindset positive, and you need to protect your mind, okay? Optimism is the superior trait. I don't care what anyone says. Pessimism got anyone nowhere. Optimism is the superior traits, right? All great leaders move with optimism. All great leaders move with positivity. As they move with optimism, as they move with positivity, that will allow them to make hard decisions quickly. Great leaders make hard decisions quickly, and they cannot do that if they're negative. Great leaders cannot make hard decisions quickly if they surround themselves with negative people. Great leaders cannot make amazing, quick decisions for their family if they watch things that are destructive. So again, I encourage you, stay positive, keep moving forward, and never, ever get frustrated. And understand now, you are the thoughts you keep. I'll say it again. You are the thoughts you keep. Everything begins in the mind. If you want to elevate your testosterone, your mindset must be unshakable. Be the man of the house. Be the leader, right? Make decisions. Don't hesitate. Be strong. Be positive. Your family is counting on you. Do not be docile. Be strong and be a leader. So thank you for your time. Lisa, I'm going to give that back to you. Thank you.
Awesome. Travis, you are the best. That's why I love him. He's very positive, and I truly believe if you can have that positive mindset every day, you will go far. So I thank you, Travis. That was awesome. Now I'd love to introduce Evan Williams. I'll give you a little background on Evan. He's a certified strength and conditioning specialist by the National Strength and Conditioning Association and a licensed doctor of physical therapy in the state of New Jersey. He's also co-owner of Sample Fitness. Evan has also trained in tandem with Travis since the company's inception in 2012. He has spearheaded dozens of countrywide programs ranging from community and school wellness initiatives to youth fitness and sports team training. So I'm really honored to introduce you, Evan Williams. Take it away, Ev.
Thank you, Lisa. So I'm pretty much bathing in testosterone right now. So if the first 7 minutes of this presentation didn't do the job, you can just come share the room with us and apply by diffusion or something. You can have all the testosterone you need. But just to piggyback what Travis said, really from a scientific standpoint, in terms of boosting testosterone, one of the big things you can do as like overcoming a barrier of entry is really just minimizing stress. And I know it's one of the more overlooked components to elevating testosterone in a healthy, natural way. But limiting stress is going to eliminate cortisol or lower cortisol, which is working in contrast to natural testosterone production. So that's kind of underscoring the connection between natural testosterone production and then a healthy mindset, and how these things tend to be interrelated and follow that holistic model. Another big thing you want to do from a scientific standpoint is really embrace resistance training in some capacity. Now, you don't have to be a power lifter, a bodybuilder. You don't need to win compound lifting medals or anything like that. Set those expectations very reasonable, and just lifting weights a couple times a week has a positive effect at any capacity, wherever you are in your fitness journey. In terms of producing testosterone, the science supports that compound lifts, in other words, lifts that involve multiple muscle groups, multiple joints, tend to be the most efficient and effective for elevating testosterone. But even if you're lifting a basic dumbbell, doing isolation exercises, body weight movements, anything where you're expressing strength against an external resistance, that's going to have a positive effect in terms of keeping your testosterone where it needs to be. I think a big key is really not trying to win the race, especially if you're new to fitness, or you hit a bump in the road, or you're kind of stuck in limbo, not sure where to go. Don't try to win the race in the first 10 meters. If you ever watched the Kentucky Derby, and I'm no horse racing expert, so I'm kind of winging this, but you'll notice that the first couple horses that come out to the start you seldom win the Derby itself. Same thing with fitness. It's a long-term game. There's nothing you can do in the first 1 month or 2 months that's going to automatically win you the cash prize. It's not a game of Jeopardy. It's not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You don't win it all in 1 month. So steady, progressive steps, building habits that are sustainable and things that you enjoy are really key to developing those habits that will allow you to maintain and sustain healthy levels of testosterone as a man. The other thing you want to do is make sure, obviously, your diet is important, because we have all these feedback loops with the body. So things like your stress levels, your activity level, your diet, what you're putting into your body, your alcohol consumption, how you spend your free time, who you interact with, the positive mindset that you have, all have an effect on your body's hormonal circuitry. So it's important to look at things that may not even be physical in nature and make sure that those are on point as well. Make sure you're having enough carbohydrates and protein to support your diet and to support your body structure. Make sure your vitamin supply is in need, whether you have to supplement or get it through natural sources. So a lot of different elements that are all going to contribute to that overall persona and physique that you're looking for. And that kind of piggybacks and segues into what we look for in terms of optimizing fitness longevity. So I think there's a misconception that fitness longevity is related specifically just to effort, initiative, being hot in the moment, and just falling in love with something. But a lot of things in life aren't born out of necessarily being in love with it, but just accepting the duty and responsibility that you need to take on day in and day out to be consistent with it. And I think that's how you really need to look at entering or continuing or even upgrading the fitness journey that you're on. So what I mean by that is staying true to habits, making sure that you're committed to the exercise portion of your week from 3 days a week and upgrading to, let's say, 4 to 5, being consistent, making sure that it's something that you're doing consistently, reasonably, holding yourself accountable. That tends to lead to longer term habits that are sustainable and allow you to reach the goals that you have. Another big misconception that's out there in terms of injury risk and risk of longevity is that everything is tied specifically just to form. And I know it's a big buzzword right now, especially in the social media scene, where it's very common to overly critique and analyze somebody's technique or form like it's like a piece of modern art. But the reality is that because of your unique body composition, we call it your anthropometry, form is going to be relative and is really not supported in the literature as a main driver of injury in general. The bigger risks for injuries and other detriments to your health actually tend to be falling out of favor in terms of your routine, mismanaging volume. Volume is how much work you're able to do in any given workout, and it's obviously aggregate, so it adds up over time. So if you're doing too little volume, you're not going to make enough physical adaptations to meet the goals that you want. If you're doing too much, so it's on the kind of that other side of the bell curve. So if you guys are familiar with the bell curve, you want to kind of be in that middle range before it tapers off. If you're doing too much volume, trying to do too much at once, win the race in those first 10 meters, that's where you develop what's called overtraining syndrome. And overtraining syndrome can be just as detrimental and deleterious as not training enough at all. So kind of finding that sweet spot, that optimum spot of load. Most people, when they get into orthopedic or sports injuries, whether it's working out or just doing something in everyday life, it's more born out of a lack of preparation for the task. It's not necessarily because your deadlift wasn't enough to win you a beauty award. Remember, this is not an aesthetic competition unless you want to go into bodybuilding. But the truth is that my deadlift's going to look different from Travis's, which is going to look different from somebody else's. And there's actually very little correlation between the work at which and the form at which you complete compound exercises and your risk of injury. That's not to say form doesn't have a role. It certainly plays a part in ergonomics, efficiency of lifts. But a lot of, I think, guys fear that because their deadlift doesn't look like a seasoned veteran's deadlift, the guy who's been deadlifting for 10 to 15 years, and I'm just using the deadlift as an example. It could be any exercise. Don't let that dissuade you. It's not meant to be a beauty pageant. You don't need the world's finest, cleanest technique. And don't fear lifting a weight or doing something because you fear that you're not perfectly 100% at it. If you wait until you start first, or if you wait until you're ready for something in life, you're never going to start. So you need to take those chances, take those risks, and start building a platform so you become more comfortable with yourself. It really starts with there. And one last point, because this all kind of relates to how we look at pain. Pain is an expression and obviously a symptom of any kind of physical injury that you could get in the gym. Pain is more of an output. It's an experience that we have. It comes with many different inputs. What we've learned now is your mindset, your past experiences, your expectations, where you are mentally plays a huge role in shaping your experiences of pain. Chav and I could both be sitting here with herniated discs before you and have completely different mentalities. He would probably feel nothing. In fact, he has an Achilles tendon rupture right now, and you wouldn't even know it by how he carries himself. But we're learning more and more through studies that chronic pain and all sorts of pain are related to the mindset you have and then the different variables and experiences that you're going through. So keep all those things in mind because it's a big puzzle. And I hate to be cliche, I'm sure you guys do too, but there's multiple factors in place and they all play a role in one another. Send it back to you, Lisa.
So true. So true. Thank you, Evan. That was awesome. Awesome advice. Hopefully if we have a few minutes at the end to ask questions, because I would still love Travis for you to tell your quick Achilles story too as well. But first, let's go over to Rosie. I'm going to introduce Rosie to you guys. Rosie Feliz is a mind, body, vitality coach and CEO of Reset, Transform, Heal. She uses a holistic approach with clients to overcome stress, fatigue, and food cravings so they reclaim their health and achieve ultimate vitality. She offers one-to-one and group coaching, corporate wellness, motivational speaking, and monthly workshops to achieve her mission of creating a ripple effect of health and happiness all over the world. So I am so excited to hear Rosie. Take it away, Rosie.
Awesome.
So happy
Thank
you're
you
here.
so much. I feel so honored. And thank you, Travis, for talking about positive mindsets, right? And for Evan, sharing all of that information about that fitness side and very powerful. So I'm going to share a screen here because I really want to summarize some of the conversations that were already had, right? But as a health coach, I have to put it out there. And I want to start this conversation by saying that this is not about creating fear and some of the content that I'm going to share. It is about empowerment, and you're going to understand why. So I want to start off by saying that we are completely unhealthy as a country. And we see that through statistics across the board. So CDC 2018, 72% of men did not meet a standard physical test. That's a high percent, y'all. 1 in 4 men die of heart disease. It's the #1 killer amongst men and women, actually. 1 in 3 men develop cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2015. And one that was really shocking to me was sperm motility is expected to be 0% by 2050. right? We're seeing a 1% decline in testosterone every single year. And a lot of times we hear 1%, it's like, can't be that bad, right? But like, think 10 years later, that's 10%. Think 20, that's 20%, right? So think about the drastic impact that's happening, not just with individuals, but now think about genetics, the things that we're passing down to our children, right? This awesome quote by Dr. David Katz: our children are more harmed by poor diet than the exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. And I'm going to pretty much highlight why we're talking about nutrition here, because that is a really key player in all of this. And the reality is that we kind of know what it is that we need to do, right? Nobody needs to tell you. You would all get 100% on a test if you were asked, like, tell me the habits that you need to do to live a healthy life. We got to drink clean water. We got to eat real food. We want to exercise or detox, right? Something like a sauna, for example, is awesome. You want to manage your stress, and kind of talking about that mindset, right? Being positive. You want to sleep 7 to 8 hours, and ideally are using non-toxic products, right? We all know this. The challenge is when we try to do so many things all at once. And as a health coach, one of the things that I love to share with people is the power of just one step at a time, right? If you think about focusing on one simple habit, let's say just for 1 month, for the next year, that's 12 habits that you have completely ingrained, right? Progressively stacking on and completely transforming your life. And so kind of sharing a little bit more about that testosterone, right? Testosterone isn't just about libido, in case if somebody's thinking that, right? Yes, it's the main male hormone. Us women have it too, though, in smaller amounts. But testosterone in general, it's about optimal brain health as well. It supports that, right? It's the motivating hormone, by the way. It gives you high energy, and it also supports your heart health. And if you're having something like low testosterone, which has been mentioned a few times, that's reduced longevity. That's muscle wasting, some of what Evan was saying, the importance of that, right? Having some of that resistance training, building that muscle. Cognitive declines. I don't know about you, but I have some Alzheimer's in my family. So that's a big one as well. Things like depression, right? Men are less likely to step up and say, hey, like, I'm going through something and I'm depressed. What if it was just because of low testosterone and you're not even aware of how the power of nutrition that we're going to talk about can transform your life? And even things like osteoporosis. So again, it's not just about libido. This decline in testosterone that we're seeing is a lot more important and urgent than ever before. So this is where I want to tell you just that one step. That one step you can take is to just focus on fruits and vegetables. It is such a powerful step, because in the world of medicine, you can have so many contradictory practices, but the one thing that everyone agrees on is literally that fruits and vegetables can support the reduction of disease, right? So that's major. So that's really the focus that I want you to take from this, that one simple change of applying and making sure that as you build, and you're building in that resistance training, you're building in other things, right? Step by step. But the reason that food is so powerful is for the phytonutrients that's found in it, right? Every single color, I don't know if you know this, but is really dependent on the phytonutrient that's in it. So you have something like beta carotene inside your orange, right? Great for your immune system. You have your lycopene in red, great for blood flow, fellas. Just saying, right? It's amazing for your heart, that #1 killer in America, right? Your greens, chlorophyll, helps you detox, right? For maybe smelling a little funky, add in some greens every single day. That supports with odorizing your body in the best way. So we turn to medicine a lot of times, but the reality is that medication, when we're not feeling good, is just a Band-Aid, right? It's doing things to the body to reduce that symptom. But food, it does things for the body, right? Even Psalms 104 says, like, herbs are for the service of man. They're here to support us, right? So food is really the best medicine, and thinking about that rainbow approach to everything. So I want you to think about how many servings of fruits and vegetables do you think your body needs daily. And I want you to just lock in a number, whatever it is that you're thinking, right? The reality is that we need 7 to 13 servings a day. And that can be really like daunting for someone. It could be really big number. Athletes need even more, by the way, anywhere between 15 to 25. But unfortunately, the soil quality in our foods is heavily decreasing, less nutritional value. And that's because people think profit over health. And so, produce is being picked early before the nutrition actually develops. And then it's getting transported thousands of miles, right? And we're just not eating enough, period, because we like convenience and we'd rather have, maybe a bagel in the morning or cereal or something that's processed. Essentially, I call it dead foods. And so we're not getting the nutrients and we're not getting the rainbow. So that's a big factor. And so what else do we do? Well, all right, we're going to cover that up with multivitamins. I'm just going to get whatever vitamins are, at the local store. The problem with that is that it's isolated nutrients, right? An apple, for example, 10,000 phytonutrients, and they work synergistically with your body. They know what to do. They're like, all right, let me roll up my sleeves. Let me get into that cell and do what I need to do. An isolated vitamin, not the same, right? And there's even research that shows that vitamins may do more harm than good. It's seen across the board. There's research out there everywhere that talks about it. It can even lead to things like hurting your liver that has to process all of this. So Mother Nature is always going to trump isolated vitamins. And we don't need a lot of 1 or 2 or 3 things. We need a little of everything. I want you to think, when was the last time that you had alfalfa sprout? When was the last time you had lemon peel? Right? When was the last time that you maybe had a broccoli sprout? All of these things are rich, by the way, in antioxidants. They are so good for you. So this is where I want to tell you a little bit about Juice Plus, because it has changed my life, my family's life, and even clients who really struggle with getting all of those servings in a day, right? We're going to be talking about 45 different whole plant foods getting into your system every single day. That's extraordinary, a lot of nutrients. And maybe you're somebody who juices, but I still want you to think about how many actual different fruits or vegetables do I change? So even if you're juicing every single day, are you actually using the wide spectrum of rainbow fruits and vegetables, right? Most people don't, and most people don't juice, from my experience as a health coach. So this is where Juice Plus is kind of like juicing, right? But there's no mess to clean up. It's literally coming in a capsule or in gummies for the youth. And it's simple. It's a simple step, right? And when it comes to nutrition, complete shakes are amazing, whether they're soy or non-soy. They're low glycemic. Talk about that hormone, right? Make sure that your insulin isn't spiking because it causes so many cravings, and it impacts your testosterone, by the way. Vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, plant-based. I mean, powerful prebiotic fiber that's amazing for your stomach. And it's a plus that it tastes amazing too, by the way. I don't know about y'all, but I like flavor. So, and if you're somebody who's maybe very active already, right? And maybe you're just missing some of this nutritional component, then there's the Perform by Juice Plus, which, by the way, also used by the U.S. Olympics. So that's extraordinary, right? Talk about really backing it. But 25 grams of plant-based protein, naturally occurring B vitamins, and it's only 6 grams of sugar per serving. And again, vegan, gluten-free, non-dairy, non-GMO, and NFSS certified, which I'm going to talk a little bit about. But then you also have your Juice Plus and Omega Blend, also essential for men's health, women's health, you name it. David Katz, who's the director of the Prevention Research Center at the Yale School of Medicine, he says omega-3 fatty acids are part of the membrane of every cell in the body. They're also the building blocks of hormones that govern much of the body's physiology, right? But we need omegas for heart, brain, joints, skin, and eyes. And I don't know about you, but I want to skip the middleman of fish, right? I want to go straight to, where do the fish get omega? Because our bodies don't produce omega. So where are the fish getting it from? It's from the algae, right? It's from algae directly from it. So that's an incredible plus with the the omega blend. It's extraordinary to be able to get that nutrients from 100% plant-based. It's a full spectrum of omega, so not just 3, you're getting 5, 7, 6, 7, 8. And it's cold pressed, so you're not killing the nutrients with heat, which is what happens with a lot of capsules. So pretty amazing, but how do you know that it's safe? It's because of that NSF certification that I mentioned. NSF is a third party that tests to make sure that there is no pesticide, no toxins, no heavy metals or mold, and that whatever that label, whatever that product says is in it is actually in it. So it's a big deal. And if that wasn't enough, it's also backed with 40 published studies. Juice Plus is the most researched brand name nutritional product in the world, with incredible research summaries, 25 confirming that it's bioavailable, right? We spoke about the cardiovascular #1 killer in men, 10 that prove cardiovascular wellness, reducing inflammation so that when you start to work out and you start lifting up heavy, right, you're reducing that inflammation in the body and you're reducing the oxidative stress. So it's incredible. But for me, I also think it's awesome that you're reducing damage to DNA by 44 to 66%. So again, it's not just you, now it's your generations after you that you're making an impact on, which is extraordinary. So ultimately, Juice Plus is incredibly unique. I want to be clear that it is not a multivitamin. It is food in a capsule. All right. They are literally getting fruits and vegetables. They're picking it perfectly ripe, fast freezing it, and then pulverizing it, getting it into a little capsule. So you get highly concentrated nutrients coming from whole foods. It's NSF certified, so it's completely safe. You always want to look for that label when you're putting something in your body like that. And it's the most researched brand in the world. So it's really up to you now to make that one simple change, right? You're getting, just by doing the capsules alone, you would be getting 30 different fruits and vegetables of the entire spectrum of color, right? The entire rainbow. You're getting those healthy omegas into your body. And it's a simple step, right? You put it in sight, in mind, on your kitchen counter, somewhere that's really obvious and you take every day so that you can see a significant impact in your health and the generations that come after you as well, right? So I just want to say super, thank you for having us here. And I know, Lisa, you said creating space for asking some questions, but please contact us directly as well. You'll have Travis and myself on social media, and you can even email Evan directly. So there you go. Thank you so much.
Oh, what a great presentation, Rosie. Thank you so much. So thorough and so true. Getting those plant powders in, I'm so into the gut, healing the gut. When you get 30 plants every day in your body, it changes your gut health. It improves your gut health, because there's a study showing that it creates a lot of diversity if you get 30 in a week, and we're getting 30 in a day. So it's an easy fix for so many people to improve their gut health. But that was a beautiful presentation. Thank you so much. I know everybody got a lot out of that, learned a lot. So I wanted to bring it back to Travis, and why we can hear his story on his Achilles and why he healed so quickly. And most likely because he's been flooding his body with these nutrients from real food that the body knows what to do with to heal him. So Travis,
I will say
that.
Thank you. Yes, I will say not most likely. I will say definitely. I'm very in tune with my body. I'm very in tune with my spirit. I know myself, and I will say definitely. So real long story short, I don't want to keep you guys too long. Rosie, that was incredible. Thank you. May 13th, it was a Saturday. I was boxing with my boxing trainer. I'm a big believer that every coach needs a coach. I have a coach that trains me. He's a former Olympian. His name is Don Somerville. He trains over at Different Breed Sports in Teaneck. And we were going 1,000 miles an hour. And we were doing this one drill where the coach puts the band around my waist, and I'm running full speed, full speed, full speed. Next thing you know, I hear, I just drop to the ground. That loud snap was my Achilles tendon rupturing in half. Complete split. I immediately went to a good friend of mine who's a foot doctor, and he put my foot on the ultrasound, and clear as day, you see my Achilles split in half. He looks at me, he goes, "You need immediate surgery." Okay. And I was like, not going to happen. Long story shorter, for a few months prior, I've been blasting my body and mind with Juice Plus. I tripled my dosage of the omegas and the berries and the fruits and the veggies. Had that daily with my Perform Better Juice Plus shake. Normally, the recovery for, and Evan can vouch for me, Evan's a doctor here. So, normally with the Achilles, you snap it, you get surgery, you're out for what, 8 to 10 months?
Yeah, best case scenario, especially somebody at your athletic demand.
Exactly. And I had no surgery, which shouldn't even be walking right now. I started boxing again 2 weeks ago at a high level.
Wow.
So, I mean,
That's
the proof's in
amazing.
the pudding. I'm a man of simplicity. The proof's in the pudding. Okay. I am way ahead of schedule. I didn't get surgery, and I haven't missed a step. So if you can chime in on this stuff.
Yeah, someone who's overseeing his rehab, I just want to be very clear, what he's doing is extraordinarily rare. And given his athletic ability and the athletic demands of his career and profession, even rarer to pursue something like this non-surgically. There are a lot of procedures that patients tend to veer away from the surgical route. Muscle ruptures and tendon ruptures are usually at the bottom of that list. Wouldn't even say 1% of prospective patients in his position would go through with this rehab without the surgical procedure to repair the Achilles tendon. But that's the route Trav's taking. It's certainly not the path of least resistance. It comes with its own set of challenges. I want to be very clear. It's not without risk, and it's not the path that would be recommended for the vast majority of people. I want to be very clear about that. Travis knows the risks involved. He knows the upside, all the pros and cons, and it's a decision he took a lot of thought to make. If anybody is going to be able to overcome something like this, this is going to be your poster child. And it's kind of fitting. It's a tribute of kind of everything we've talked about, all the different factors that contribute to the overall health experience, the mindset, what you do to structure your day, what you do in your free time, how you carry yourself, who you surround yourself with, the dedication you give to the rehab process, and knowing when to hold back and when to go all in. He's embracing all of that, and it's a challenging recovery, and I've never seen anything like it to this point. Where he is, he's going to have to kind of ease through certain points of the rehab because he is so advanced with where he is right now, to make sure that the risk of re-injury doesn't increase, because it is an issue when you don't go with the surgical route. But with where he is, and more importantly, the mindset he's kept, in classic Trav fashion, when I found out about his Achilles tendon rupture, I had Trav retell me the story, and of course he records everything. So he had a video recording of the foot doctor diagnosing him by ultrasound, and most patients would be starstruck or just completely bewildered by the outcome. He was laughing through the whole thing, and the doctor was taking it for a loop. He thought Travis just didn't understand what the diagnosis was. Trav fully understood what was going on, and for him, it was just another challenge and an opportunity for him to do something that other people haven't. And so that's the mindset you take in life to different degrees, and certainly something that he's embodied full on. So I'm not saying you have to be this level of unbridled optimism, but it's certainly something to emulate, and you can do incredible things if you do.
Thank you. And I agree. And one thing I want to turn into real quick to put all together, the main thing too, above all, is you must have faith. You must have faith. Put God first in everything you do. I'm telling you, prayer is the answer. Prayer is powerful. With prayer, a positive mindset, optimism, Juice Plus. I'm serious. I've blasted my body with Juice Plus, and I'm feeling extraordinary. You can't make this up. I split my Achilles in half 2 months ago. I'm already boxing, throwing hands, feeling great, pivoting. How does that happen? That won't happen with a negative mindset. That won't happen if you're lazy. That won't happen if you don't do the work. So be positive, keep moving forward, never get frustrated, and when obstacles come, you conquer them. You tackle them and welcome them with gratitude. I'm getting chills now. Be thankful
Yeah.
for your obstacles. Why? Because those obstacles make you greater. Those obstacles make you better. Those obstacles turn you into a Juice Plus champion.
That was awesome, you guys. You all did such an amazing job. Congratulations, Travis, Evan, and Rosie. That was phenomenal. Thank you so much. And, you know, one of the main thread for me was consistency in everything that you said. You know, whether you're being consistent with your mindset every day, you're consistent with your fitness, you're consistent with your nutrition. And that's what I love what Rosie shared about the Juice Plus is it's a very simple way to be consistent every day getting the nutrients that your body needs. And so again, we want to thank everybody so much for being present tonight. Please get back with the person who invited you this evening if you want to have a more one-on-one conversation to do that. But we're also very happy to stay on the line if anyone has questions. And Andrea, if you don't mind, we'll stop the recording here.